we taste smoked food, we're entering into a kind of relationship with food that is delicious, but also somewhat troubling. We understand smoke is not something that's not good for us, and yet there's something about it that we appreciate.
Hold your hand.
Just a drop on your hand.
And subnature is a term that I use to articulate types of buildings or relationships to buildings that we often consider degrading or denigrated or foul.
And the way that I got interested in subnature is there's this blog called Edible Geographies, and I saw this work by David Gisson. This is very interested in applying subnature to architecture, but I wonder if there's a way to apply it to food, and that's what we did.
And so I was talking to him and I said, you should make a smokehouse. It'd be great. You're in the South, people smoke food.
The smokehouse is iconic for Duke's history, of course, because Duke came from smoke, so to speak, from tobacco. And when I got down here, I didn't know anybody here, so I had to find out who was interested in food and who was teaching courses on food. A lot of people were, you know, I didn't end up meeting with them, but after a while, I met quite a few people, and they're like, wow. Some people were like, yeah, that's pretty interesting.
I had something that way. I teach calculus in the math department here at Duke, and I was got involved in the smokehouse when gave me a call and said, look, I've got these 3 architects coming to build a smokehouse, and they need a place to stay, and you have a spare room. And yes, so they stayed at my house and built this thing in 8 days.
I had an idea that this would be a good spot, but being able to build anything on Duke's campus is a challenge, and you have to go through all sorts of committee. It took months to be able to do this.
So we now have 9 pounds of short ribs pastrami in there, a bunch of chickens, some rabbits. I think that's it. Oh, and some celluloid film.
The idea is just to like see what happens when you actually smoke some of these films that are our representations of these animals that we're cooking.
The one thing to learn from all of this is that both respect what other people eat and what other cultures choose to eat. And understand the methods of operation, that a lot of what goes on in the background when food is being prepared is not, for many people, pleasant. What really drives me up the wall, frankly, is people who turn up their nose at a bit of food that they're not familiar with. Try it out. You're not gonna like it, you're not gonna like it, who cares, but you've tried it.
I didn't actually know what it was. I've walked by it a few times, so it'd be cool to learn more.
Definitely a unique thing to see on campus. Not every college campus has its own meat smoking house.
Honestly, I'd be curious to learn more. It seems like a cool project. And I think it's really great to see an expansion of humanities on campus, and I think it's really, really great to see humanities students doing something engaged and constructive like building a building.
What do we do with it after it leaves? And it's leaving at fall break, so it's leaving when I leave. And so the idea is that we are going to have to demo it, and which, you know, it's too bad. Do you want it? Smokehouse?
So I know I go out to forest and foliage, and like my wife is like, you do realize you left your keys next to that bunch of mushrooms over there on the ground in the middle of the forest, right? 5 times that's happened.
I had been to Egypt, and it was very bony, and I didn't like the experience.